Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, and today I'm back with another Pokemon Draft League video. This time I'll be going over my run for the Sitrus Team Tour, which is a VGC only team tour. And yes, you heard that correctly. I, primarily a singles player, signed up for this VGC only team tour because one of my friends was like, really persisting that I sign up. And I was like, okay, sure. And I signed up and I was taken for 7K. So basically min bid on this team called Galarian Gentleman, captained by Davy and Perplexer. I hadn't known them that well before this tour. I think I shared like one or two servers with them, and we've talked like a little bit, but I didn't know them that well. But they did pick me, so always, grateful and appreciate that. And so I signed up, and I was told I'd be playing SV VGC mostly. So the main difference from like singles is it's like level 50. There's an item clause. 4v4. You bring 6 to the team preview, but then you select 4. So like regular VGC rules, but with draft. And this is slightly different than VGC because it's Terra preview. So you can see like the Terra type of all the Pokemon, and obviously anything can Terra, so that helps a lot. And without much further ado, let's jump into our first week where we were playing Street Cred Cookie, our good friend. And I believe this was rigged. Cookie wanted to play me, or like the captains thought it'd be funny if he played, because we have, we're always beefing, so it'd be funny. So I was like, okay, cool. And for week 1, we're pulling up with this Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Ogerpon Heartflame, Illumise, Tinkaton, Urshifu, Single Strike, Bruxish team. And I believe we have like a Scraggy and Spupa on this. And this seems like really, really fun. Ursaluna is so broken, and then obviously this is like the double bear team because we have Urshifu and Ursaluna. And then Illumise is just a goat. It's like Tornadus, but way cheaper. But then it also has an Encore, which Tornadus doesn't. So the Illumise is just better than Torn. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's jump into our team for the first week, where our teammate Miso built this basically because, I haven't built a lot of VGC draft teams before. I have played in like multi-battle and a little bit of VGC and like mocked my friends for VGC, but I wouldn't say like I'm good enough to build or like, really have opinions that help. So anyway, my friend built this team, and it is an Ogerpon Heartflame, pretty bulky, with Ivy Cudgel, Follow Me, Spiky Shield, and Rock Tomb. Our opponent has a team of Ogerpon Wellspring, Gushing Fire, Thunderous, Hisuian Gudra, Enamorous, and Pissimian. I don't remember what they benched, but this is a pretty scary team because like the Genie duo is pretty strong, because you can like Scary Face the contrary Enam, or like Eerie Impulse it, so it gets like a Nasty Plot, or it gets an Agility and it just hits really hard. Then obviously Ogerpon Wellspring is a really good Pokemon, and so is Gushing Fire in this. And that duo is pretty strong as well. So definitely a pretty scary team. But so that's right. For Ogerpon, our Ogerpon's pretty good in this matchup. Ivy Cudgel hits everything except Ogerpon once it terras. And Gushing Fire, for which we have Rock Tomb. And then Rock Tomb in general hits like the Thundi and like slows down the Ogerpon. Then we have Ursaluna Blood Moon with a super bulky set as well in Calm Mind, Earth Power, Hyper Voice, and Moonlight. Terra Ghost, so that there's no like superpower shenanigans. It just felt like the best neutral Terra type. And Calm Mind just to boost, because he has no resist to Hyper Voice except Gudra, which we can hit with Earth Power. And then Moonlight just for longevity, because once we Terra, it's really hard for him to like kill us, and we don't take a lot of damage because of our bulk. And Clear Amulet was just for like Eerie Impulse Thundi, basically. Next up we have Illumise with the Tailwind, Encore, Fake Tears, and Thunderwave. The mental herb is just because he has a bunch of taunt and like taunt thunderous with prankster, which would outspeed us. So with this, we can always get one of our prankster shenanigans off before he can. So like we can get the tailwind off if needed, or an encore or thunderwave, whatever it might be. Tailwind encore just broken. Thunderwave was just in case to like slow down Enam or Ogerpon, or even like a booster speed gushing fire. And fake tears is just to help Ursaluna as well, because you fake tears like basically the Ogerpon. We don't really want to fake tears like the Enam, obviously, because then it won't die. And so that Hyper Voice does more to it because it gets the speed up boost once it tears. Next up, we have Tinkaton with Aqua Berry, and we have Fake Out. Didn't really need Mold Breaker here. Thunderwave again, just to slow down things so that Ursaluna will be faster. Encore, because Encore is broken. Then Gigaton Hammer just to hit the Enam or any Terra Fairy because we have an Urshifu. Then Urshifu, Black Glasses. We have Wicked Blow, Protect, Poison Jab, and Sucker Punch. Didn't really need CC here. And Wicked Blow hits everything except the Enam, for which we have Poison Jab. Terra Poison Jab also KOs the Ogerpon Wellspring, which is huge if it doesn't Terra. And it also obviously hits any fairy, and then obviously it's a good defensive typing into like Moonblast and stuff. And Sucker Punch is just like to have a priority option to revenge faster stuff. And then last we have Focus Sash, Bruxish with Trick Room. This is just in case he's prepped well for like Tailwind game 1. And I'm struggling to get up my Tailwind, in which case we can try to go Bruxish and Tailwind. Trick Room, and then Ursaluna will still be faster than everything in Trick Room, as well as in Tailwind, so that's pretty good. So yeah, not much further ado, let's jump into the game. As for leads, I was going to lead Ogerpon or Shifu, just to have an immediate offensive presence from the start, as Cookie leads with Enamorous and Hisuian Gudra. His Hisuian Gudra was like Terra Fairy, I believe, yeah. So here I didn't know if he would Terra Fairy, Terra Blast, and so I kind of just wanted to play it safe and just protect the Urshifu. And nothing he has should be able to kill my Ogerpon in one hit, because he's not Terra Flying Enam. So he can't Terra Flying, Terra Blast my Ogerpon if I don't Terra. So I figured the best approach was just protect my Urshifu and then just get a bunch of damage on one of these mons. I decided Enam was the bigger threat than Gudra, so I decided to go for that. As he does Terra the Gudra and goes to Superpower, showing that he is a physical Enam, which like was expected. Like we figured it could be physical or special, so physical definitely like not too much of a surprise. And we just able to Ivy Cudgel and do 80%, so that's really good. Then we take the Draco, and obviously Cookie, famous for his Cookie luck, crits us turn 1. So, you know, that's starting off the battle great, but not the end of the world. Here I decided, since the Ogerpon's almost dead, I can just follow me and take out the Enam with Wicked Blow, because Enam was the thing I was most scared of. So down goes our Ogerpon, and down goes the Enam, as he clicks Muddy Water and luckily doesn't get a drop. In comes the Tinkaton, in comes the Ogerpon from my opponent, and I send out the Tinkaton. And here it's a pretty simple fake out. I didn't want to fake out into the what do you call it? The Spiky Shield from Ogerpon. So I figured just faking out the Gudra was fine. And because the Ogerpon cannot Terra, the Ivy Cudgel will not kill me even with a crit. So I can just Terra my Urshifu, because that will guarantee kill even a bulky Ogerpon. And also that way I will not die to a player if he decides to go for it. So I click fake out, and he clicks the Ivy Cudgel. Obviously he gets the crit because he's Cookie, but we are able to live that, and I can Poison Jab, take out the Ogerpon. And this turn I can just click Protect and Thunderwave and slow down the Gouging Fire as he goes for Breaking Swipe, and we're able to get the pair off, which is epic. He does click Fire Blast and missed, which is a little unfortunate because he would have have known this was Akaberry. But because he misses, he doesn't get that info, so that sucks. It wouldn't have done a lot because it's -2 and we're pretty spit F, I believe. So, yeah. And now I can just click Poison Jab on the Gudra, take it out, and click Encore so that basically this Gouging Fire can never kill us now. I can set the Ursaluna and just Earth Power. He does get paired, which is again a little unfortunate because he would not know that this is Player Amulet, which would again be good info for him. He cannot win the game, as you see, because Earth Power just takes this out. But he would have gotten info that I was Akaberry and Clear Amulet, which he does not get for game 2. So slightly unfortunate, but he did crit 2 moves, so I would say it's balanced. Anyway, game 2, I decided to switch up my leads and go for the Ursaluna Illumise combo, as he adjusts and sends out Enam plus the Pessimian. Here I just go for the Terra Ghost because I didn't want to take a CC, and I believe I went for the Thunder Wave. Not sure why I didn't go for Tailwind first, but yeah, I guess it works out because I get the Enam paired. I didn't know Pessimian got taunt, so Pessimian clicks taunt, but we have the Mental Herb, so which means we can, we can click Tailwind before he can taunt us again, which is good. As the Enam goes for Superpower, but here I decided that that locking the Enam into Superpower was more important than clicking Tailwind because I don't kill with Hyper Voice. And I don't want to take a +1 player up from this if possible. So I decided to just Encore the Enam into Superpower as I get taunted again, but I'm able to Hyper Voice, take out the Pessimian, and the Enam's pretty low, and Encored into Superpower. Out comes the Ogre Pawn, and I decide to swap because my Illumise has no attacking moves, so it can only struggle. As I send the Ogre Pawn, as the opposing Ogre Pawn Terras, and clicks SD, which is a little scary, but I'm able to Hyper Voice, take out the Enam, and do some damage to the Ogre Pawn. And that comes the last one, which is the Gouging Fire. And this is definitely scary. So I figured my best play was to follow me and Calm Mind, I think. As the Gouging Fire goes for the Breaking Swipe, gets a crit again, doesn't matter. As I'm able to Calm Mind, I was hoping that my Ogre Pawn would die, and I could go into the Illumise and Illumise and Tailwind to try and get some damage off. But that actually works out for me because he clicks the Spiky Shield. I can now follow me again and Hyper Voice to get more chip damage on the Ogre Pawn. So yeah, as a Gouging Fire clicks Flare Blitz, and because he doesn't crit, the Ivy Cudgel also goes into the follow me, allowing me to get off this Hyper Voice. And now I can click Tailwind, which makes me faster than the Ogre Pawn Wellspring, and just click a Hyper Voice and pick up both the KOs. So yeah, and that's our week 1, and we win this at 2-0, and I are against a really good VGC player like Cookie. Went for like 23k because he's really good. And he ended up like the season 6-1 or something, and I think we were his only loss. So, it was a huge win in our first ever VGC Team Tour game. And I believe we ended up winning this week either 4-3 or 5-2, so that's a good start. Also because whenever I face Cookie teams, most of the time his team beats mine, and like there'll be some hacks involved. So luckily for a change, we were able to beat his team. And yeah. For week 2, I was benched, but I had to sub in last minute on Sunday because the player who was supposed to play this game did not show up. So I got like an hour to prep and get to know the team before I played. But I didn't build this team. Somebody built this team and just gave it to me, and I mocked once or twice. And I was like, okay, good to go. But I'm using the same team again, and our opponent has a team of Azalf, Iron Hands, Ogre Pawn, Wellspring, Weavile, Skeledirge, and Screamtail. Another Ogre Pawn, which is definitely scary. Iron Hands, obviously a pretty good Pokemon. Screamtail can be really annoying with Encore, Disable, Booster Speed, Light Screen. It can do a bunch of stuff, Trick Room. I wasn't sure of the rest, like what they really did, because I haven't really usually seen them a lot. But obviously, they can do damage, or like people can be creative. But yeah, let's jump into our team for this week, which was also built by Miso, I believe. And for this week, we have Illumise with the Tailwind Encore, which is going to be on every Illumise set because that's what it does. We covered Cloak so that any fake out from like Weavile or Iron Hands does not flinch us. Charm to just like weaken the attack of Ogre Pawn and Iron Hands basically. And Fake Tears again just to help the Ursaluna. And we're pretty fizz dev just for the Iron Hands. Next up, Urshifu with another Black Glasses, just close combat over Poison Jab this time. He does not have a resist to stab. Wicked Blow like goes through his team, and then CC hits like the Iron Hands pretty hard. We Terra Poison again just because it's the best like neutral typing. It resists Drain Punch and like Fairy hits like Dazzling Gleam or Play Rough. So it seemed pretty good. And then Sucker Punch again, just for priority if needed. We have Ursaluna with Silk Scarf because he has no normal resist on his team. And Terra Steel is not really a good typing into our team because we have like Urshifu and Ogerpon. So he doesn't really have a good normal resist, so I went with Silk Scarf to do as much damage as possible. And we have Hyper Voice, Blood Moon, Stab, Hyper Voice is spread, Blood Moon just to pick up KOs if needed. Mostly versus the Ogerpon if it Terras. Earth Power just in case anything was like Terra Steel or Terra Rock. And then Protect just for Fake Out or like just in general if I need to stall a turn. And we Terra Ghost again so that we're immune to Fake Out and the other we lose our weakness to like Drain Punch, which is pretty good. And then once again we have like enough speed to outspeed whatever, like the pretty faster Ursaluna. Next up, we have Ogerpon, and this time we're Ivy Cudgel knockoff, Spiky Shield, Follow Me. Again, pretty bulky. Cudgel hits everything except Skeledirge and Ogerpon, and knockoff hits these Skeledirge pretty hard, which is good. Also, like just getting rid of items is nice. And then Follow Me just supports Spiky Shield support as well. Then we have Ticketon with pretty fizz dev, just helps into like Weavile and Screamtail, Iron Hands a little bit, even the Zelf. Sitrus Ray just for like some healing. Fake Out, Gigaton Hammer, Thunder Wave, and Play Rough. Fake Out just to flinch stuff if needed. Gigaton Hammer hits the Weavile, the Zelf, the Screamtail. Thunder Wave just to slow things down, and then Play Rough to hit the Iron Hands. And then last we have another Focus Sash, Bruxish with Trick Room. Psychic Fang, Super Fang, and Taunt. Taunt just because he has a lot of like bulky guys, mostly like Skeledirge and Screamtail. So it helps versus that. And then Super Fang again to get like 50% chip, which helps the Ursaluna. And again, the reason behind it bringing Bruxish is just in case Tailwind option doesn't work, we can go with the Trick Room route. So yeah, let's jump into the game. I decided to lead off the broken combo of Illumise and Ursaluna as he leads up with the Screamtail and Skeledirge. Screamtail reveals to be booster speed, so it can definitely be like Light Screen or, a Calm Mind or something. So we have to be careful of that. But I decided to just click Fake Tears on the Skeledirge because Unaware does not ignore like Spidef drops. So this would make my Hyper Voice do more. As I just spam Hyper Voice, and as he does set Light Screen, but Hyper Voice still does like 65% through Light Screen because Ursaluna is so broken. As he clicks Torch Song, does half, but our speed means we are faster, which is really good because this means I don't have to click Tailwind. I can just click Encore plus Hyper Voice. It's a pretty free click. As he clicks Protect and probably click like Disable. But we're able to click Hyper Voice, do another 20%. And this time, I believe I can click... I decided to just click Fake Tears on the Screamtail to get more damage on that side because I know the Skeledirge is dead anyway. And if he swaps, it's just like free damage on whatever, right? So we get Hyper Voice. It does 15% to the hands, revealing its Assault Vest. So this turn, I decided to just Terra Ghost so I can still do damage. As I click Charm, just in case he like read that and click Wild Charge, I didn't want to take damage on the Ursaluna if possible. But he just clicked Fake Out, which allows me to fire off Big Blood Moon, which does 35%, still good chip. In comes the Ogre Pawn, and I believe I just clicked Charm plus Hyper Voice. Oh, I clicked Protect plus Fake Tears, so like I can weaken the Ogre Pawn, which is pretty good, as he does decide to cudgel into our Ursaluna. So that works out, and now I can click Tailwind plus Blood Moon, I believe. Yep. As the Ogre Pawn clicks Spiky Shield, and I was like, okay, it's kind of interesting because I've already revealed the Encore on the Illumise, so every time that happens, it's like I could just Encore this, right? So I didn't really get that play, but this is free because I can just click Hyper Voice as I Encore the. I decided to Encore the Ogre Pawn, and unfortunately for my opponent, I do get a crit. Which kind of sucked for him because here he would have only lost one Mon, and he would be encored in to follow me, but which would like stop my Illumise from like being able to like encore. From like Fake Tears dropping the hands or the Skeledirge. And I obviously couldn't Blood Moon. Like I would have to click Hyper Voice, which would allow either his Skeledirge or like his hands to like target my Ursaluna to get a kill. I think it would have to be the Skeledirge because the hands I don't think would kill. So it would need to be the Skeledirge be clicking Shadow Ball into the Ursaluna to take it out after living Hyper Voice through Light Screen. So obviously that sucked a little for him. I don't know if it would change the game result, but it definitely changed that turn. And maybe took out his way of coming back into this game. Because now I can just Fake Tears the Skeledirge and click Hyper Voice. Which means the Skeledirge is dead. As you just click Wild Charge and we're able to live. And I can click Fake Tears plus Blood Moon. Just wanted to get the Blood Moon animation once again. So the Ursaluna is really broken. And we're able to win this without dropping him on. So that's really cool. On to game 2. I decided to lead the same broken combo because why try to fix something that's not broken? As he leads the Screamtail plus Ogre Pawn, so an adjusted leads. This is definitely more scarier because Ogre Pawn obviously exerts a lot of pressure. So I believe I decided to just click Fake Tears plus Hyper Voice or Fake Tears plus Blood Moon. As he clicks Light Screen and Cudgel, and the Cudgel does a lot of damage to the Ursaluna because this week we're not super bulky because we needed all that speed. But I click Hyper Voice, and it does half to the Ogre Pawn and 22% to the Screamtail. So I was like, okay, this is fine because now I can Tailwind Hyper Voice, take out the Ogre Pawn. As I decided to go for that, but he clicks Disable, so I'm not able to Hyper Voice. But for some reason, he doesn't take out the Ursaluna, and instead targets the Illumise, and I was like, okay, this is fine because I can still Blood Moon the Ogre Pawn because I'm still faster. So I decided to go for the. Was I not able to? Oh, I believe I was not able to Blood Moon. No. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm not really sure why I swapped there. I do make the swap as I believe I click Charm. Okay, yeah, I started to click Charm on the Ogre Pawn and swap in my Ogre Pawn Heart Flame. As I get disabled on the Illumise, and I was like, okay, I can just Encore the Ogre Pawn now. So that's amazing, and just fire off the Ivy Cudgel on the Screamtail because I know it can't touch my Ogre Pawn. As he makes a double swap because he was not in a good position, so I was like, okay, that works. And here I decided to save my Illumise because I can use the Illumise plus Ursaluna to still clean up the game. So I've sent out the Urshifu as he clicks Fake Out plus Torch Song, which does a good amount of damage, but because I know the Skeledirge reveal lefties and he already terrored, this Wicked Blow slot is super free because if he goes Ogre Pawn, he dies. If he goes Screamtail, he's going to take a lot of damage. So I decided just click Wicked Blow into the Skeledirge slot and Ivy Cudgel into the hands to weaken it for Ursaluna. as I take out the Skeledirge, but he clicks Drain Punch to take out my Ursaluna, to take out my Urshifu and get some health back. And now I send out the Illumise. I believe I clicked Tailwind plus Ivy Cudgel. Yep. Once again, I'm not sure. Oh, okay, I see why. He decides to click Spiky Shield, fearing like a grass move from my Ogerpon, but obviously I didn't have it, but he didn't know that. So he clicks Spiky Shield, scouting for the grass move. As I decided to just click Cudgel into the hands, but do not kill. And I believe he just clicked Drain Punch into my. Oh, he clicked CC into my Ogerpon. So I see what I was trying to do. Like, if you've got the Spiky Shield chip, which would be 12%, and then like if I wasn't bulky, CC would drop me, which would give him like the best chance of trying to win this game. So I get that play, but obviously clicking Encore in front of clicking Spiky Shield in front of Illumise is tough because now I can Encore this. But also the CC doesn't kill, which means I can just Encore plus Cudgel. But obviously the Ogerpon's able to prevent that by clicking Follow Me, which allows the Iron Hands to take a kill here. And he decides to click Drain Punch and take out the Ogerpon. But since we were low, it's not going to heal that much. And which means both these mons are in Hyper Voice range. And I can just go for the Hyper Voice and take out both these mons, and which leaves the Scream Tail. And since it lost its booster speed, we're going to be faster, so I can just go for the Fake Tears Blood Moon once again to finish this game with Blood Moon as well. And we're able to win this week as well. Obviously, Game 2 is not as clean as Game 1, but this is still pretty dominant because we didn't lose them on the first game. And I feel like we lost this week, or did we win? I don't remember, but I think we actually lost this week, even though this was like one of the weaker teams on paper. And I mean, that happens, but yeah, like, we just have to bounce back. Week 3, I was not. Week 3, I did not play because one of my friends wanted to play. I was slotted to play, but I didn't give up my slot, so my teammate played because he had only played one game by that point, and I played 2. And then mids obviously happened, and we did end up winning week 3, so we went into mids 2-1, which is really good. And yeah, week 3 was mids, where I don't think our team made any changes. Oh, I think we dropped the player I subbed in for because they were like super busy, and picked up Rin, I believe, which like I think they knew them from before. I don't really know them, so I was like, okay, that's cool. And then obviously made changes to a draft. And yeah, I'll be back with our week 4 games in a bit. Alright, we're back with our week 4 game, and we were playing That Boy. And I believe this week I was in LA, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think I was in LA for the Pokemon Regional there. So I don't have a lot of time to prep, and I remember I had to mock in like an Uber because I wasn't getting like time because I was on vacation. But like my team needed me to like play and win, so I was like, okay, I'm down. And we played this game in LA actually, so that's pretty cool. And our opponent has a team of Roaring Moon, Spectrier, Zapdos, Entei, Lurantis, and Furt. I don't really know what Furt does, but I guess he looks goofy. Anyway, this matchup is significantly harder than the other 2 we've had so far because there is basically he is able to match Tailwind because Roaring Moon has booster speed, which will always outspeed Ursaluna, and I can't like kill the Roaring Moon. And so he can get the Tailwind off even with like the Illumise and match the Tailwind. And our team works when Ursaluna is faster than everything and is just killing everything. Then obviously Zapdos is a menace, which is so good to hear because Zapdos is so broken in singles, and it's good to see it's broken in like VGC as well. And then Zapdos obviously can set Tailwind too, but just offensive Zapdos with Hurricane, Thunderbolt looks really good into my team. Entei is also pretty strong with Sacred Fire, like hitting everything. Like the only resist is Bruxish. and Ogerpon wants Terrace. And then E-Speed, obviously, like Bandit, Terra Normal, E-Speed is going to do a bunch of damage. And Spectre, another like huge problem for a team. It does need to be Terra fighting to hit the Ursaluna. So its Terra type was kind of given, but like it is faster than the whole team. And then once it gets a kill, it can just snowball. Obviously, it has Snarl too, and like Will-O-Wisp and stuff, which can like be super annoying. I didn't really expect the other two. It was probably just like the top 4 big like threats were definitely super scary for a team. And just the ability to match Tailwind makes this like matchup a lot harder than the other two. But we had a cool team. Also, from week 4 onwards, I was building my own teams. Nobody was building my team for me because they said the best way to learn is for me to build my own teams. Obviously, I still got support in like mocks and like what to change, but the team, like the initial idea, the EVs and stuff, were mostly mine. So that's progress. Anyway, for this week, we're running Terra Normal, Ursaluna with Throat Spray to get the boost up to Hyper Voice because you've seen the other 2 games, like series so far, we've been spamming Hyper Voice, and it's just to make the most off of it. Protect just for scouting and like stalling turns if needed. Blood Moon, because again, no normal resist on the team, and then Vacuum Wave, just for priority, like you can kill like a Sash Roaring Moon or something. But it also has another usage, but I don't want to spoil the surprise, so we'll wait for it once it's comes into play. And super offensive, super fast as well, just to outspeed like everything we can in Tailwind. Then we have a Focus Sash Illumise with Tailwind Encore. As I said, it's going to be on every Illumise set. Fake Tears once again, just because we basically support for Ursaluna. Then Charm once again. Charm was obviously we can shut the Roaring Moon, but Charm was really nice into Entei, like to weaken the E-Speed. And obviously he could be like Clear Amulet, but that means he's not Bandit, so obviously it's still like weakened damage. Charm is not really needed for anything else, I think. Then Ogerpon, Heart Flame, we're again a similar set, Cudgel, Follow Me, Spiky Shield, and Tantrum this time, just to hit the Entei. And I think Tantrum was just better than like Rock Tomb, yeah. Ogerpon's really strong here, that's why we're max attack and like a lot of speed this time, because he doesn't really have the best resist. His only Ivy Cudgel resist is the Roaring Moon, which still takes a lot, and Entei, which still takes a decent chunk and then dies to Tantrum after. So pretty strong Ogerpon matchup. Then there's Shifu, we have Black Glasses, and pretty similar set. We can blow close combat, detect Sucker Punch, so just stabs plus Sucker Punch for priority, and Protect just to stall and scout. Obviously, there's no Fake Out on this team, which helps definitely for sure. Next up, we have an Akaberry Tinkerton with Fake Out, Gigaton Hammer, Encore, and Thunderwave. Fake Out because Fake Out's broken, Encore because Encore's broken. Gigaton Hammer hits the Roaring Moon and the Spectre pretty hard. And Thunderwave, just to slow things down. Akaberry is for the Entei, not really for Heatwave Zapdos, which I don't expect to come. Again, this is probably not coming, but just in case I need Fake Out, it's there. And then Bruxish with a Colberberry this time, just for like a knockoff Roaring Moon. And we have once again Trick Room, Psychic Fang, Super Fang, and Taunt. So basically the same idea. If Tailwind doesn't work, we try for Trick Room. And yeah, let's jump into the game. As they lead with the Roaring Moon plus Zapdos, as we end up leading with the Illumise Urshifu. And I told my team this before I went into the game, that this is basically a 50-50, right? Because my Tailwind goes before his Tailwind because of Prankster, and Urshifu can outspeed the Roaring Moon. The issue happens, though, the Terra Flying Roaring Moon is really, really common, right? Like, just because you get the booster speed, and then you can get Acro plus... like Acro from the no item, and knockoff is strong, and then breaking swipe, whatever. And then obviously from the Terra type, you get an extra boost to Acro. And so this becomes a 50-50 that if he's going to Terra or not. If he Terras and I click CC, he gets the Tailwind off. But if he doesn't Terra and I Wicked Blow, he also gets the Tailwind off, right? And obviously, if he doesn't Terra and I CC, he dies, doesn't get Tailwind. And if he tears and I click Wicked Blow, because I'm Terra Dark and Black classes, he also doesn't get his Tailwind. So I told my team I'm going to get the 50-50 right because I'm, just a beast like that. I'm built different. So we go for the Tailwind, and this time I call that he's going to... Oh, he also revealed to be booster energy attack, not speed. So it was definitely a threat, and I was like, okay, he's definitely tearing here, right? So I decided to just call it. I go for the Terra Tailwind, click Wicked Blow, boom. The Roaring Moon's gone. His Terramon is gone, which is fantastic. Like, nothing else can Terra, which means his Spectre, if it's just... I believe it was Terra Fighting. So if it's just Terra Blast and Shadow Balls, cannot hit my Ursaluna super hard, which is epic. As Zapdos clicks Tailwind, though, so I was like, oh, he still is able to mash Tailwind. So, like, leading Tailwind still worked for him because he's able to mash Tailwind. And his team is naturally faster than mine, so this makes it tricky for sure. I was like, okay. In comes the Entei. I believe I just go for the Detect plus Encore. I protected just to, like, see if he was, like, Mental Herb or not, because if he's running Tailwind, like, a lot of them could be Mental Herb. So I just wanted to check that. But I'm able to Encore the Zapdos, which is good, because this means now I can Wicked Blow safely. As I believe it just charmed the Entei, to weaken the Sacred Fire, as it only does 25, and we don't get burned, so a little lucky there. And we're able to Wicked Blow, take out the Entei, which is huge. So we obviously 2 months up already, and we have Pranks to Tailwind still, and we have our Sash intact, so right, this seems pretty good. I decided to save the Illumise just because I wanted to Tailwind later, and like hopefully take out the Zapdos so he's not able to like set Tailwind, and we can just be faster than both these mounts left. So I decided to just click Protect and send out Ursaluna as he goes for the Terra Blast plus Thunderbolt into the Urshifu. So I was like, okay. I believe here I just go for the Sucker Punch on the Spectre. I do get a crit, but he is Sash, so it doesn't matter. Without the crit, it would have also brought it down to Sash. But that's a little annoying, but not the end of the world. And the click Snarl does decent damage, but the Zapdos went for Hurricane and misses, which is a little unfortunate for him. I believe if it hit, I think it was a roll, but in his favor to kill. But I think in this case, he wanted to not get the KO, I believe. Because if he gets the KO, I can just go Illumise and like Tailwind. Tailwind and like Wicked Blow, pick up a KO, and then Spectre cannot kill like both the mons in like one go. So that would like basically be GG if the Ursaluna died. So he needed it to get the Hurricane and but get a Confusion, because I do have Vacuum Wave. Obviously he doesn't know that, but if he doesn't get the Confusion, I can Vacuum Wave the Spectre too and like protect the Urshifu, which could be an issue. So but he misses the Hurricane, which means I'm able to get off with the... actually, no, he needed... Ooh. Sorry, I forgot that I had to move. Which means, no, he needed this to die to have the best shot, I guess. But because he misses, I'm able to Hyper Voice and pick up the Spectral kill, which means I can just Blood Moon the next turn, because Zapdos can only pick one of the KOs. So he just has to KO the Urshifu. But yeah, we were able to pick up the win 3-0. Pretty good start, and we were able to, like, obviously getting the 50-50 right turn 1 was huge. Game 2, I decided to lead the same thing. It's another 50-50. He does make an adjustment and leads the Spectrier this time, which is definitely super scary for sure. But I decided to click Tailwind and CC this time, calling that he's not going to tear the Roaring Moon. I get it correct again, take out the Roaring Moon, so this Roaring Moon has not done anything in either game, so thanks for coming, Roaring Moon. Very Noivern-like performance from Roaring Moon right there. Take out the Roaring Moon, but the Spectre tears and takes out my Urshifu with a Terra Blast. And this is obviously scary because I know it has Focus Sash, which means I need to break this Sash Otherwise, I'm gonna lose. Like if I'm not able to break the sash, this spawn is just gonna keep picking up a KO every turn because it's so strong. But I decide to go into Ogre Pawn, and here I click Encore plus Cudgel because I don't want the Tailwind going up. So, and I had to I had to Terror to make sure I pick up the KO, otherwise the Zapdos lived. And yeah, and basically I was like, okay, I just hope I somehow live the Shadow Ball, so that I could then maybe next turn break the sash on this. So yeah, I go for the Shadow Ball. Oh, also, actually, if he goes for the Shadow Ball, I can also Encore it, and then he won't be able to hit the Blood Moon, so he is kind of forced to go for the Terror Blast, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to live this. And I don't know. I don't know if it was the correct play to Encore there, but he does click Terror Blast, but for some reason clicks it into my Illumise, which I was like, oh, perfect, because this means I can break his Sash now with my Ogre Pawn, because I'm going to be faster, so even if he extreme speeds my Ogre Pawn, he cannot hit me with the Spectre before I hit him, so which would allow my Ursaluna to pick up the KO after. So in comes the Entei. I can just charm the Entei and cudgel the Spectre to bring it to Sash, as he clicks Terra Blast into the Ogre Pawn this time and takes me out with Tantrum, which is fine, because now I can just go into Ursaluna and Hyper Voice, which picks up the K on the Spectre and almost picks up the K on the Entei. As he clicks Sacred Fire, misses. It was not going to do a lot. Even he needed like a crit Sacred Fire and then into like a crit E-Speed, I think, to maybe have a shot. But now I can click Tailwind, Blood Moon once again, because ending the game with Blood Moon is just so fun. And yeah, we're able to win this week as well. Another pretty strong performance, I would say. Like, this was definitely our hardest matchup so far. And yeah, we were able to pick up the wins. That's pretty solid. We haven't lost a game yet with this team, which is pretty epic. And I'm pretty sure we won this week, so we are now 3-1, which is pretty epic. Week 5. This is week 5. Yeah, this is week 5, and we're playing Sammy C, who is also another like singles player primarily, and he was playing VGC, so that's super cool to see. And he has a pretty cool team of Ogre Pawn, Half Flame, Raging Bolt, King Gambit, Tornadus, Blastoise, and Miss Magius. Also, was the last team the first one that didn't have an Ogre Pawn and an Urshifu? Yep. Sorry. So, just because all the Ogre Pawn forms can be drafted separately and all the Urshifu forms can be drafted separately, it's like almost given you're going to face an Urshifu or an Ogre Pawn every week, which is funny. But yeah, for this matchup, another pretty annoying team because Torn can be super bulky and match Tailwind. It can also do like Sash to match Tailwind. It can, it can do a bunch of stuff to just get the Tailwind up. So that's definitely annoying. We don't have the best Ogre Pawn responses because, we don't really have a good fire resist. King Gambit, pretty scary as well. It doesn't run Supreme Overlord in VGC usually, but like the Defiant, like Terra Dark, Kowtow, Cleave, or whatever hits really, really hard, especially after an SD. Raging Bolt is also pretty strong in VGC. Like Terra Fairy seems pretty safe into our team. Blastoise can fake out Icy Wind stuff, and then Miss Mag is like pretty fast and can be annoying as well. So definitely I don't think it's as hard as the other matchup, but definitely like there are a lot of threats to be content with. So let's jump into a team. So yeah, we have another 6-core of Hyper Voice, Blood Moon, Vacuum Wave, Protect, Ursaluna. There's no normal resist other than the King Gambit, which we have Vacuum Wave for. Also just priority in general because he has Sucker Punch, Thunderclap. So he has a lot of prio too, like Aqua Jet, Blastoise, Quick Attack, Ogre Pawn. So Vacuum Wave is really nice for that. Protect just for like stalling and scouting his general. Same thing, we're running a lot of speed. I believe to outspeed like Torn after Tailwind. Terra Normal to boost like a normal. Also get rid of a weakness to Grass. Then we have a Choice Scarf Bruxish this time, so a little different. maybe they would think that, every time I bring Bruxish and it doesn't show up, that they might not prep for Bruxish, but he doesn't really have the best, war resist. It's just the... Actually, he does have the Raging Bolt and, Blastoise, but if Raging Bolt Terras, which is what I was expecting, then he wouldn't have a war resist. But also, Psychic Fangs is pretty free into whatever slot the King Gambit is not in. So this Bruxish definitely pretty decent. Icy Wind, Scarf Icy Wind, can slow down things as well for Ursaluna. And then Flip Turn just for momentum and get damage. And I thought a Scarfa was nice because he has a lot of Prio. And we block Prio, so you can't even use Prio versus Bruxish. And then I felt like Terra Water Bruxish was pretty strong into both King Gambit to do a lot of damage, Torn, even Ogerpon. So the main threats were all threatened by Bruxish, so it seemed pretty fine as a Scarfer. Next up we have Illumise once again with Tailwind Encore, Fake Tears, and Protect. The Protect this time was for the Blastoise. In case the Blastoise led, I didn't want to get faked out on my Illumise and not get Tailwind in case they double target. But we have Sash once again just to help with the Ogerpon, Hot Flame, or Torn lead, because obviously those are scary. Next up we have Ogerpon. We're running max speed to speed type their Ogerpon. And I have Cudgel, Tantrum, Follow Me, Spiky Shield. I believe that hits everything on the team except Blastoise. But I figured the Blastoise would be Terra Dragon, or he would Protect or Swap, expecting a Grass move on that side. So we're not running a Grass move. Once again, we just Cudgel, Tantrum, Follow Me, Spiky Shield. It's pretty decent matchup for it as well. Then we have Urshifu with Black Glasses. We have Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Poison Jab, Detect. Once again, stats are pretty strong. That's why Terra Fairy Raging Bolt or Terra Fairy Torn was pretty likely, we felt. Or Terra Fairy Gambit even. So Poison Jab to hit those was pretty nice. With Terra Fairy for Raging Bolt, in case for Draco Meteor or whatever, it would help into that. Also helps versus King Gambit because we expect Cut Tau, Cleave, and Low Kick. So Terra Fairy would wall it. We don't really think Ironhead will come. We thought it would be double Dark plus Low Kick. So then this could also wall King Gambit if needed. And yeah, that's pretty much it for it. It's pretty bulky. And then Tinkaton is Akaberry once again. I don't remember if we live a Terra Cudgel, but I'm pretty sure we live a non-Terra Cudgel, and then we can Encore or whatever. Fake Out, Encore, Gigaton Hammer, Play Rough. Encore is also nice for the King Gambit and stuff. Yeah. Don't really expect the Tinkaton to come out though, because the other 5 are just better. So yeah, let's jump into this game. I decided to lead with Illumise plus Urshifu, as he leads with Torn plus Ogerpon. So pretty scary lead. Because I'm not Terra Dark this time, I was pretty sure I was not going to kill if either of these were bulky. So I decided to save my Terra, and I was just okay, I can just Tailwind plus Wicked Blow. As he does click Follow Me, so basically showing that he wants his Torn to be able to set Tailwind and match Tailwind. So that makes sense. He is bulky Ogerpon as it only does 69. And the Torn's able to click Tailwind. I decided to click Protect here, thinking he might follow me because I could Encore the Torn. So he might just follow me Bleakwind. So I figured I can keep my Sash intact and just go for the Wicked Blow on Ogerpon, because I think Bleakwind didn't kill my Urshifu. Yeah, see, as I'm able to live the Bleakwind, but he does call me out and doubles into the Urshifu, and is able to take me out. So I was like, oh, that's a little annoying. I set up my Ogerpon now. I believe a Terra and go for the Cudgel, but the opposing Ogerpon is able to follow me, so I'm not able to pick up the KO on Torn, but I'm able to pick up the KO on Ogerpon. As it clicks Bleakwind, hits both, which is a little annoying, not the end of the world. But we don't get a speed drop, which is nice, so I can just double protect this turn. Yep. In that next turn, I can just Cudgel, Tailwind plus Cudgel, take out the Torn if he's not Sash. And so that way I can prevent the Tailwind. But the Blastoise clicks Water Spout, and I was like, oh dang, like this is offensive and I don't really have a way to hit this. So I decided to still just go for the Tailwind and Cudgel on the Torn, take it out, because I didn't want the Blastoise to be like faster than my Ursaluna, because I was like, oh, maybe if I can like Blood Moon him, I might be able to win. But he's able to click Water Spout, take out both our Mons, and I was like, oh, this is looking tough because our last Mon is Ursaluna into Blastoise plus Raging Bolt, and I was like, I probably need like a double crit here or something, or him to miss like Draco. So I click Hyper Voice, but he clicks Water Spout, gets the crit and KOs me. I don't think I could have won, especially if he had like Dragon Pulse or anything. Hyper Voice did just only do 24 to Raging Bolt, which kind of said that this was a V, I think, and that this Blastoise was offensive. So I was like, okay, good knowledge to know, but unfortunately, we lose our first game. We won like a 3 weeks, 2-0 so far, and this is the first time we've lost a game, and we've lost game 1. So it's like, oh, we have to, bring it back game 2, otherwise we lose the set. So I was like, okay, this is tricky. Like, we're in a tough spot. So I decided to adjust my lead. I decided to lead the broken combo of Illumise plus Ursaluna, because I was like, why fix what's not broken? As he leads with the same lead once again. So I was like, okay. I decided to just Terra Normal, Tailwind, and go for the Hyper Voice. Does a lot of damage, does over half to both the Mons. As he does click Follow Me, so I think he was expecting the Blood Moon, and I guess that would have taken out the Torn. So he really wanted his Tailwind up, so I was like, okay, that's fine. He sets his Tailwind, and now you're wondering, oh, he's just gonna double the Ursaluna, and we're dead, right? It's like a super safe play for him. He's Tailwind, both his monsters are super fast, and obviously I could double protect, but that's not gonna help because that's only like one turn of Tailwind. They would still have, more. This is looking like a pretty good spot for him, even though he took damage and we're at full. But what he's not ready for, and what you might not know, is why we're running Vacuum Wave on our Ursaluna, is because I click Vacuum Wave here to get increased priority, right? And what I do with Illumise is Encore my Ursaluna. So basically self-Encore, and what that means is Ursaluna and Encore makes you click the last move you clicked, which would be Hyper Voice. But because Ursaluna tried to go for a Vacuum Wave, its priority for this turn is +1. Obviously, Illumise is faster with Prankster, that's why it gets to click Encore before Ursaluna. But Ursaluna has a priority of +1, and it's forced to click Hyper Voice, which means that it clicks Hyper Voice with priority. And I'm able to take out both the Mons, Ogerpon plus Torn, and he also teared his Ogerpon. So that turn just worked out beautifully for us, right? Like, we self-Encore, just to show it again, and Vacuum Wave, Hyper Voice, pick up the KO, and this is looking fantastic because he's wasted his Terra. We can stall a turn of like Trick Room of Tailwind with Protect. He's lost his Tailwind setup, which means as long as I keep my enemies around one turn, I can set Tailwind and just pick up both the KOs. And obviously our opponent didn't know that was a thing, so that was huge. And I think this was a crazy play, and I'm super proud of it. It was funny. So that worked out. Obviously now though I'm Encore into Vacuum Wave, so I have to swap out. But I was like, it's not the end of the world. I just go into Bruxish because I brought out the Bruxish because I figured Bruxish was better. I don't remember what I benched. I think I benched the Urshifu. I go into Bruxish as he clicks Thunderclap and Water Spout, and I was like, oh, this is perfect because now I can Encore the Thunderclap and I can just Psychic Feint because I'm Scarf. I'll be faster than the Blastoise and weaken his Water Spout. So Encore the Raging Bolt, which makes this useless for the rest of the game. and weaken the water spout, which means this game is basically over because I can like just fool around at this point. Like I click fake tears, I don't really need to, but I just do it for Ursaluna in the back. And he clicks water spout again, making me think the Blastoise is Scarf, but obviously he could be just trying to preserve info that he is not Scarf, and he's like, he could be Mystic Water, and he just wanted me to think he was Scarf. So I was like, that's a good play for him because this match is over, right? Like he can't do anything. I Psychic Fangs this, and then I can Encore the Raging Bolt once again once its Encore runs out. So this is over. I decided to just go for the Encore Psychic Fangs. And now I can just send out my Ursaluna and Psychic Fangs, and I believe... Oh, I just picked the kill with Bruxish. Okay, I thought I clicked Blood Moon to take out the KO, but yeah, pretty dominant game 2, right? We win without losing a Mon, make it 1-1 to bring it to game 3, so that's going to be pretty hype. And both of us are probably going to make adjustments now because I've shown like the Ursaluna lead is a little problematic for him. So game 3, I decide to lead the same lead as he adjusts this time and leads the King Gambit. I was like, okay, this is a little scary. King Gambit's out finally, and I wasn't sure what to expect. So I decided to just go for the Tailwind plus Hyper Voice, I think. Yep. As they click a double protect, I went for a Blood Moon this time just to see the damage on Torn as he just clicked the protect. So I was like, okay, interesting. I decided to click Encore, but he reveals to be Mental Herbs, a good prep by them. And I just click Vacuum Wave into the Gambit just to get like big damage off. As he matches the Tailwind and clicks Low Kick, which does a lot of damage. I believe it went for the Encore again as he calls that and goes into Ogerpon. As I tried to Vacuum Wave the Gambit and take it out. And here deciding that he's either clicking Sucker Punch or like Low Kick into my Bruxish and probably or Cudgel right into the slot. So I was like, Bruxish is probably the better play. And decide to keep my Ursaluna around for later if needed, because I can always use like Ursaluna's broken too. Good to keep it. I click Protect this turn. As the Ogerpon does click Spiky Shield, so I was like, oh, okay, I can Encore this too. And because my Bruxish has Dazzling, he cannot priority me, so I can just click Wave Crash into the Gambit slot, take it out, which is epic. As the Torn comes out, and the Ogerpon is back, and I was like, okay, I click Tailwind again. I click Wave Crash into the Torn. I debated clicking Terra on my Bruxish here, but I wasn't sure if it would kill, like if it was a bulky Torn, so I decided it's better to save my Terra if possible. And it worked out because obviously Wave Crash is not going to kill the Torn. As he does click Tailwind, so it's a little annoying as he clicks Woodhammer, takes up my Bruxish, but not the end of the world as I can go into Urshifu. And I click Encore again into the Torn. And this time, I guess he thought, he'd already shown he's going to swap every time he's in a position to get Encored. And he stays in, which is good for us because now we have made the Torn useless. And I kind of forgot that the Ogerpon could Terra. I thought he had already Terra'd. But luckily, our bulk helps us live this Ivy Cudgel just barely. And luckily, it doesn't crit. So we are able to click Wicked Blow and do a lot of damage to the Ogerpon and threatening a Sucker Punch, which is epic. I don't remember what I did. I clicked Protect because that way it'll be one turn of Tailwind left. And since we have a Sash intact, it would allow me to live a hit and get up Tailwind again if needed. As the Ogerpon also clicks Spiky Shield as I click Detect. So there's a lot of Protect and switching around. I try to go for the Encore on the Torn. As it goes for the Water Spout, does a lot of damage. And I was like, okay, this turn, I have to click Tailwind, take out the Torn. I cannot have another Tailwind up. Like, my only chance of winning is if there's no Tailwind up, right? Because my Ursaluna is slower than everything else. So I click Tailwind, Wicked Blow, take out the Torn, but the Water Spout is going to take out both the Mons here. And this is looking tough, right? Um, Ursaluna 33% versus Ogerpon plus Blastoise. Obviously, the Ogerpon is going to be slower. It needs a triple protect to be able to live the Ursaluna. Unless the last move is Quick Attack and he's been hiding it this entire time, in which case he would win the game. And also, if he's Choice Scarf, we have a chance because we can maybe get a crit and weaken the Water Spout. Or like just weaken the Water Spout to enough like where we live. But if he's not and he has like Muddy Water or something, we would not be able to win because he just Muddy Waters and we die. So yeah, I turn normal. This is why we save the Ursaluna and why we save the Terra. And I click Hyper Voice, take out the Ogerpon, do enough damage to Blastoise, but not enough to put it in Torrent, which is like super important. Like if it was 2% more, 2 to 3% more, we could have been in trouble because Water Spout would have taken us out because of Torrent. But Hyper Voice just does enough, and I'm guessing he was Scarf, that's why I click Water Spout, and we're able to live barely and click Hyper Voice and pick up the KO. And yeah, we somehow brought that back, and like Ursaluna is just the GOAT, right? Like this game shows why he's the GOAT. But yeah, this was a super fun set. I think this was like the best set I like. Not even just because I won. I feel like this was super close. It went down to the wire, and I think it was a super fun set. So shout out to my opponent, like good prep and well played by them. And yeah, this was insane. I was like buzzing after because I was like, wow, this was just a crazy game, and obviously coming out on the right side of it obviously feels that much better. And I believe we won this week as well to go 4-1. So I'm like pretty much clinched for playoffs. Maybe just needed one more to be like safe. So yeah, and I'll be back with our week 6 and 7 battles in a bit. Alright, we're back with our week 6 game, and I believe we were playing like a playoff contention team, but also if we won this week, we would have a good chance. We would have clinched playoffs for sure. And if we lost, like, because I believe our week 6 and 7 were pretty hard, so if we end up losing, we could have been in like the 4-3 like bubble or whatever, like the competition for the last playoff spot or something. And we wanted to avoid that, so definitely needed to win this week. And so we're playing somebody named Death Smash, who I believe is a pretty good VGC player. And they have a team of Arnchucklis, Goldenko, Urshifu Single Strike. Urshifu Rapid Strike. It just looks Single Strike on preview. Bramblegust, Raichu, and Regidrago. Praise K team. And again, like this team is just a lot of offense, right? Like Jugglis. Jugglis is support, but the Urshifu, Goldengo, Regidrago is definitely scary. I think that's something else scary on the bench too, but I don't remember what. And yeah, the Jugglis is even better at setting Tailwind than Roaring Moon, in my opinion, because again, you can do booster speed and has more bulk than Roaring Moon, as well as not being weak to Urshifu stabs, which allows it to, not die to the Urshifu hit, meaning he can always get up Tailwind on lead, which is definitely something to be careful of. He does have Raichu with Fake Out support. Urshifu Rapid is super, super good into our team with like Scarf, Terra, Water. Surging Strikes just does a lot of damage to everything. Goldengo is really good as well. Like, our only resist is the Ogerpon Heartflame. Regidrago can definitely be scary as well. So, this definitely a scary matchup. And he was doing really well, so like it would make sense like why his team's pretty good as well. So yeah, let's jump into our team. We're bringing Covert Cloak Ursaluna. This helps versus small Jugglis as well as Fake Out Raichu. That's pretty good. Hyper Voice, Blood Moon, Protector, Earth Power. Normal stab hits everything except Goldengo, which is what Earth Power is for. And then Protect just to scout as well as stall turns. Pretty offensive, pretty fast, like the usual Ursaluna. With Terra Fairy, because Fairy is better. It's a better neutral, like into Regidrago and Urshifu than, and we figured like Goldengo would be easier to deal with because we have Ogerpon plus Urshifu. So I was like, okay, I can afford to be Terra Fairy even though it makes me weaker to Goldengo. because the Urshifu plus Draco threat is more like scary in my opinion. So yeah, Terra Fairy for that. Next up we have super defensive Illumise with Sitrus Berry, with Tailwind Encore the usual, but we have Light Screen and Pounce this time. Light Screen helps versus like the Goldengo, Draco, Jugglist for sure. And Pounce was because I feel like we'll have Tailwinds up at both of us will have Tailwind up. And Pounce can slow down things, which would help the Ogerpon, the Urshifu, the Ursaluna to like be faster in Tailwind because we're going to be matching Tailwind anyway. So if we got Pounce was really good for that. So I think Faye and Plant helped me this week, so like it was their idea, so that's good. So yeah, that's the idea. Sitrus Bay is just to like live this. I think we can live 2 Searching Strikes with this if it doesn't Terra. Next up we have Ogerpon. Super bulky. I believe the bulk was so that like we can take a Terra Water Surging Strike if we don't Terra ourselves from the Urshifu. And we're Ivy Cudgel, Horn Leech, Player of Spiky Shield. The Ogerpon is super good in this matchup. Like Cudgel hits everything super hard, except the Draco and Urshifu. And then we have like Horn Leech hits the Urshifu, and then Player of hits the Draco, and then Spiky Shield just again to scout for stuff. Next up, Urshifu. With Focus Sash this week, it's also going to be a dedicated lead because we have Wicked Blow, Close Combat, so just stabs, Protect for Fake Out. And then Taunt. So the idea is if he doesn't lead Raichu Jugglist, which would be the only way to get like Tailwind up guaranteed, we can click Tailwind with Illumise, so we're faster than the Jugglist, even with boosted speed. And we can taunt the Jugglist, so he cannot Tailwind, right? And that gives us kind of a lead in, like, gives us a good start into the game. So that's the idea behind it. Obviously, it doesn't work if Raichu Jugglist leads, so have to be careful of that. But if Raichu Jugglist lead, I can just like then like other ways. If Raichu Jugglist lead, I can click Light Screen plus like Wicked Blow or play CC or whatever. Then just Encore the Raichu after, which would still work. Then we have Tinkaton with Leftovers, Fake Out, Encore, Play Rough, Knockoff. I feel like it could maybe be annoying for him to kill, but not really. Like everything hits, does a lot of damage. But I figured because there wasn't really an item I could use because Sitrus was already gone. There's no reason to be Akaberry here, so I didn't know what to put. So I just put Leftovers, and like maybe it can do something if like with Light Screen up, and if Urshifu is like dead, because it does kind of what Jugglist stabs, which is pretty good. And then last we have Bruxish with the Rocky Helmet, super bulky. For Trick Room, Super Fang, Taunt, Crunch. This again, just if our Tailwind is not working, we can try to Trick Room up. And yeah, Rocky Helmet was just for like the Urshifu. Like it could be useful maybe if it's Surging Strikes into it. So yeah, let's jump into the game. As I said, I was going to lead Illumise Ogerpon as he does lead the Jugglist Goldengo. So pretty scary team, pretty scary lead. But I can just click the Tailwind Taunt, block the Tailwind, as that's what happens. And I get the most out of the turn as he swaps and tries to Tailwind. So I can now just click Light Screen plus CC, try to get chip on the Jugglist for Ursaluna. As he clicks Hurricane, does 50, and we're able to heal with Sitrus as he clicks CC into Urshifu. I tried to click Encore into it in case it was not like Scarf, because then I can get CC and pick up the Jugglist, basically, and we would have higher prio than the Urshifu. But I guess it would have just CC'd with prio. So maybe it wasn't the best click because it would have happened the same Ursaluna situation. So maybe I shouldn't have clicked Encore and maybe I should have just clicked like Pounce or something. But I tried to go for Encore plus CC. But this is where I didn't really expect him to save this Jugglist, but he does Terra Poison. It saves the Jugglist. And I was like, oh, that's something I should like. Because I come from singles, right? Background where we have Terra captains, and usually you always like you're not Terraing like your Illumise in a match in singles because there's no point, right? You want your Terra captain to be the most powerful guy. But in VGC, there's value in Terraing your defensive, like support mons, if that means they can live a turn longer and give more support. So that's pretty cool. I didn't really expect this Terra. I didn't even cross my mind. So super well played by him there. As I go for CC, as he clicks Snarl, gets a crit on the Illumise. That doesn't really matter. But I decided to go into Ursaluna now. Because I can click Hyper Voice and take out the Jugglist as well as get damage on this Raichu. Yeah, as I click Encore on the Jugglist, because I'm Code Cloak, so in this way he cannot Hurricane Confuse me. And I click Hyper Voice, take out the Jugglist, and do damage to the Raichu. So I was like, okay, this is looking pretty decent. In comes the Urshifu. I decided to Terra right here, because Surging Strikes would kill me. So at Tailwind, the Urshifu clicks Surging Strikes, which means he's Scarf. But we live that pretty comfortably, and I click Hyper Voice, as it does a decent chunk of damage to both. And the Raichu goes for Thunderbolt and does crit us, unfortunately. That crit would not have killed us. Obviously, right, if the crit doesn't kill, we would threaten the Vacuum Wave Hyper Voice next turn because he couldn't know we would have it or not. Or I could save the Ursaluna, bring it back. So obviously that crit blows. It was a little unfortunate, but I was like, okay, I can set my Ogre Pond now. I decided to click Encore into the Raichu, so because Thunderbolt is not going to do a lot of damage to the Ogre Pond. And I decided to go for the Horn Leech into the Urshifu slot as he does swap out into the Goldengo. So nice play by him. As I click Thunderbolt, it gets the para on my Illumise too, which is really, really annoying. Because if he doesn't get the para, I had a super free Cudgel plus Pounce play it right here. And Pounce would kill the Raichu. I believe the mineral was like 21. So on like max HP Raichu. So yeah, this was definitely annoying because the Raichu would be dead and the Cudgel here. It would just be like a KO on one slot and the what do you call it? Even like if he doubles, right? It's like doesn't lose me anything because I don't take any damage. So yeah, this was really unfortunate because I went for the light screen Cudgel. As he clicks Thunderbolt and takes out my guy. I click Horn Leech. Maybe I should have just clicked Cudgel again, right? Maybe that was my bad. But yeah, I guess I was just tilted at that point because I lost 2 mouse to crit. As he clicks Thunderbolt, and I was like, okay, fine. The Encore ended, and I was like, okay, maybe this is still okay, but he pulls up with the Endeavor Raichu. And I was like, oh, that's GG because, yeah, now the Surging Stress is going to take me out, and we lose game 1. Definitely Haxie. I think we had it if he doesn't crit our Ursaluna and doesn't pair our Illumise. I talked to like my VGC buddies, so I think I definitely had game 1 if I didn't get hacked. So I was like, okay, we're on the back foot once again because we lost game 1 last week as well. So I was like, okay, dang, we have to, back to focus, try to win game 2. I decided to change strategies and go for the Bruxish lead. But he makes an adjustment as well and goes for the Raichu Urshifu lead, which is so bad because he can Thunderbolt into the Bruxish, and because he's Scarf, he probably has U-turn. In hindsight, maybe I should have Terra'd the Bruxish because I don't think he would CC into the Bruxish, right? And if I do that, then maybe I could have set up Trick Room. But again, in my head, I was like, why would I Terra my support pawn, right? I want to Terra the Ursaluna or the Ogre pawn or the Urshifu, not my support pawns. So I don't Terra, he clicks U-turn, it does too much damage, and he doubles up, and takes out my Bruxish, which means I don't get Trick Room, and I don't have speed control for the rest of this game, which is really, really, bad for me because his team is really, really fast and my team is super slow. I go for the CC into the Juggless. It does about 50. As I Terra now, and go for the Hyper Voice as he goes for the Tailwind. And the Raichu Terras and goes for Fairy, and I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Goes for the Draining Kiss, brings us down to our Sash. But I'm able to Wicked Blow. It does about 60, which is enough for the Ursaluna to take out the Raichu, which is big because the Raichu was hacked us in the last game. But we unfortunately don't get the KO in Juggless, which is kind of big because now I can fire off a Snarl to take out the Urshifu. But I guess it wouldn't have mattered because there's a Make It Rain coming anyway. In comes the Snarl and takes out the Urshifu, and there's a Make It Rain, and obviously that's just gonna KO, so there's not much I can do here. Maybe it would have been nice if the Juggless was dead because it couldn't do this play, and then although I don't think it would have mattered. So yeah, never mind. He clicks Make It Rain. I think he was Specs, does 40%. This game was over after turn 1, like once I didn't get Trick Room up because I have no speed control and his whole team is faster. So yeah, got smoked in game 2, which, because, turn 1 went horribly for us. And this is where the value of like tearing maybe your support bonds, because if I teared into Steel, I would have gotten off a Trick Room and then maybe this game could have gone differently. But I still feel Death Smash had the tools to beat me. Like his build was pretty good, and obviously he's a better player. So shoutouts to him. Like, yeah, and that we take our first loss of the tour in week 6 though, so that's not super bad. But I think we ended up winning the week if I'm not wrong still. So we're up 5-1. We're clinched, so that's amazing. On to week 7, where we were playing. I think they call it Down Bad Patrol, I think is the team name. And basically the scenario was that they needed to beat us to make playoffs. And if we win, we get like first seed, I think, which would help us pick the 8th format, like the format for the 8th slot in playoffs, which is like a big advantage. And obviously if we beat them, then there's no chance of rematch, because also there was a chance that if they beat us and the other 5-1 team loses as well, then we would be first seed and they could be 4th seed, and we have an immediate rematch, which would be super, super annoying. So obviously we wanted to win to get first seed, as well as like prevent a rematch if possible. So we're playing somebody named Log Ice. I never heard of them before. And they have a team of Whimsicott, Chi-Yu, Glamora, Sandy Shocks, Blastoise, and Enam. So it's basically like Chi-Yu and a bunch of special attackers. Whimsicott obviously has a good support mod, and then the only physical attacker is Enam, which predominantly wants to be special anyway. But this is a really interesting team. I don't really like it. I don't know how somebody uses this team. It feels super bad, but I can see the appeal. Anyway, for this week, we finally switched up our drafts to let our teammate use the other broken draft. But funnily, we still have double bear on this. We do have Ursaluna and Urshifu. Just the Illumise, the Prankster Tailwind is torn instead of Illumise. But I think, in my opinion, Illumise is better just because it's cheaper. It has Encore, it has like Fake Tears, it has Charm. Torn doesn't have all that, right? So Illumise is just a goat. And Torn misses Bleak Wind, so then Entei over Ogerpon Hot Flame, and I think Entei, I like using Entei more just because E-Speed is broken. Inner Focus is really nice as well, don't have to worry about Fake Out or Intem. Guard, I super like Guard. I think it's broken in both singles and like VGC. Like just Trace is so good, and the utility it has. And then we have God, and I don't remember the other mounts on this, but it's a pretty fun draft, and I was like, okay, definitely enjoy like building with it. So let's jump into a team for this week where we're playing Log Ice. And starting up, we have Ursaluna with Throat Spray. Okay, the only resist on his team is the Glamora, which is 4 times weak to Earth Power. So another normal stab time, Hyper Voice, Blood Moon, Earth Power Protect, didn't really need Vacuum Wave, Throat Spray to get the boost after Hyper Voice, and Terra Normal to be as powerful as possible. I think again it was enough speed to outspeed whatever Enam or Whimsicott after Tailwind. Next we have a Cold Cloak Torn with Bleak Wind, Tailwind, Taunt, and Rain Dance. Cold Cloak was just for like fake out Blastoise, but I didn't really think it would come into play. Terra Dark was just so like one, it was good for like the uh Chi-Yu possibly, and the other thing was we can Terra Dark so that Whimsicott cannot like Prankster, Taunt, or Encore us, which would be good. Rain Dance also weakens Chi-Yu, which is really good. And Taunt can stop like the Whimsicott and stuff. Next up, we have an Assault Vest Entei, pretty bulky, pretty offensive too. With extreme speed, Sacred Fire, Stomping Tantrum, and Snarl. Sacred Fire is actually pretty strong here. There's only there's 3 resist, but the Chi-Yu doesn't really beat the Entei because Entei resists like fire, and Dark Post can off flinch, so it doesn't do that much. We have Terra Normal just to boost the power of E-Speed. Tantrum picks up the KO on the Glenora, and then Snarl was just to weaken, like, because he has so many special attackers, Snarl was really good. This is like our best check to Enam, which is really nice. Next up, we have Guard with Mental Herb, so that Whimsicott cannot taunt us. And this is going to be a dedicated lead, because it can Trick Room. And once we have Trick Room, because they don't, I think Whimsicott can Trick Room, I don't remember. But they're more likely to Tailwind than Trick Room, and if we can Trick Room, our whole team will be faster, and it's really good. Then we have Max HP, Max Speed F, because this whole team is special. And then Light Screen to help take special hits better. And then Dazzle and Psychic, it still does a lot of damage. And also Trace is really good here. Like if you Trace Prankster, that's good. You Trace Beats and Ruin, that's good. Tracing Contrary is good. So yeah, pretty good man on here. And then Terra Poison was just like, again, a pretty good defensive typing in my opinion. Next up, Urshifu with Focus Sash. Just to help with the lead a little bit, like I wanted to Trick Room with Guard, but also put pressure. So Urshifu will be like our lead slot as well. And we're just 4 attacks, no Protect, Wicked Blow, Poison Jab, Brick Break, and Sucker Punch. Poison Jab hits the 2 fairies. Wicked Blow is super nice, hits everything except the 2 fairies and Chi-Yu. I was Brick Break over CC just because Light Screen was a possibility because Ursaluna is super good into their team. And then Sucker Punch was just to get like a lot of chip damage on Chi-Yu if possible, because then it's like nice for the rest of my team. Terra Fire was just to bluff versus Chi-Yu basically. And then last we have an Inviolate Gothita, again Super Speed F, Fake Out, Fake Tears, Psychic, Heal Pulse. In hindsight, I should have been Trick Room 2 on this. Just having 2 Trick Room options would be really nice, but this is again just Tropic stuff is really nice, right? And like to make sure he cannot swap. And then Heal Pulse and Fake Tears with support for Ursaluna. But yeah, in hindsight, this could have just been Trick Room, or it should have been Trick Room, so that's on me, like I didn't even realize that. Anyway, as I said, I was going to lead Guard plus Urshifu as he leads Chi-Yu plus Whimsicott. Pretty expected. The Chi-Yu cannot kill us even with like Terrifier Overheat. So I decided to just go for the Sucker Punch plus Trick Room. I go for the Sucker Punch just in case he wants to double into my Urshifu because of Sash. So I go for the Sucker Punch to weaken the Chi-Yu as I go for the Taunt. As I go for Trick Room, he does click Taunt, so we use a Mental Herb to shake it off. As he clicks Heat Wave, does a lot of damage because he Terrifiers, but it gets the burn on Guard. Not a huge deal though, because of the because we have the Trick Room up. Now we're super set, and I do have to force my Guard out because I can get Encore into Trick Room now. Which is not the end of the world because Entei is super free here. And I decided to go for the Jab into the Whimsicott to try and see if he's Sash or not. So I go for the Jab, take out the Whimsicott. So it's good to know he's not Sash. And this turn, I believe I swap out my Urshifu, deciding to keep it around if needed for Wicked Blow. As I go into Guard and just click Sacred Fire into the Enam. And it does a lot of damage, which is really good. As he clicks Earth Power, so he is offensive, but like we take that pretty easily. And now I decide to go for the E-Speed just because it's 100% accurate, and click light screen so we can take this Blastoise hit really well. And here you can see how broken Entei is, right? Like, that's a super effective move, and it just did 17. So, Entei is super, super goated. And now I can start firing off. Click the E-Speed, Heat Wheel, Speed, Chilanberry, Enam, which is, again, good information to have. And I just click Psychic into the Blastoise, get a Speed F drop. A little unfortunate for my opponent, but not the end of the world. Trick Room runs out as the Chiyu comes in, and I believe it just E-Speed. Did I Trick Room again? I feel like I Trick Roomed again. As it clicks Muddy Water, doesn't get the drop, so we just click Psychic. We're trying to chip the Blastoise as much as we can, because, obviously it's bulky and annoying. As our guard goes down to the burn, but this time we click E-Speed once again. Basically, E-Speed plus Wicked Blow should be a win at this point, and that's what we do. And the Blastoise reveals to be Rocky Helmet, which is, again, good to know. It's not Scarf, it's not AV, so all good information. We're able to win this pretty cleanly, I think. I mean, Speed F drop was a little annoying for him, but I don't think it's end of the world. We didn't even use a Terra, so I don't think it mattered, honestly. So yeah, we're able to take game 1. Game 2, I believe I let the same thing. Oh no, game 2, I lead the guard versus Gothita just to get the fake out, to make sure I get my Trick Room up. But he does lead Blastoise Glimmora, so nice adjustment by him as well, because he has his own fake out pressure. So we trade fake outs here, which is fine. And here, I should have terrored my guard, because, as I said, Trick Room was super, super important to my team, right? So, because my team is super slow. So but I don't Terra because in my head, again, I want to Terra the Ursaluna or the Entei or the Urshifu. Although I don't think I brought Urshifu to this one. I brought the Entei and Ursaluna in the back, and I wanted to Terra them. So I don't Terra, and he Sludge Bombs plus Muddy Water takes out my guard. And this is really bad because I lose my speed control once again, and that sucks. Because I don't have speed control. I don't have Trick Room on my god. So I was like, okay, we're going to my Ursaluna. I believe a Terra in Hyper Voice as he doubles into my Gothita. He misses one Muddy Water but crits the Sludge Bomb, so I think that balanced out. We click Hyper Voice, it doesn't do enough damage. I go for the for the Heal Pulse, thinking he would attack my Ursaluna, but he targeted the god, so that's a little unfortunate. I tried to again get the Heal Pulse off, but the god dies, and then I die to the poison too, so this is looking rough. It's Entei versus 3 Mons, but maybe there's a chance if I click Snarl here, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I click Sacred Fire and I get the burn, so I was like, and the Muddy Water misses, giving me a chance here. So it's like, ooh, if I Snarl and get the KO on Blastoise, maybe I have a shot. But we don't get the drop, in the Torrent Muddy Water does a lot of damage, and I was like, oh, this is GG. So I decided to not click E-Speed just to, like, it didn't really matter. Like, losing 3-0 or 2-0 didn't really matter. So we lose this game just because we didn't get Trick Room up. So I was like, okay, like, that sucked. I could have definitely won this game if I had Trick Room up, and I was like, dang. Back to game 3, and I make the adjustment and go for the Ursaluna this time instead of the Urshifu. As he leads Blastoise once again, I decided to go for Trick Room plus. I debated clicking Protect for a while, but I figured it was too passive, and I thought he might double into the guard to like Terra Fire Flamethrower into my guard to prevent the Trick Room, like Fake Out plus Flamethrower. And I didn't want to make the passive play, so I was like, okay, I can Terra Normal, Hyper Voice plus Trick Room, and like if he tries to block my guard, he would have to take a bunch of damage. But he clicks the Fake Out to stop the Trick Room and Overheat and crits my Ursaluna. At the time, I thought the crit mattered because I thought tracing Beads of Ruin meant it canceled out, but it only cancels out for Chiyu and guard, not for the rest of the field. So that did not matter one bit. But I was like, okay, this does give me my Trick Room now because The -2 overheat is not going to do any damage to my guard. So I go for the Trick Room plus Wicked Blow play, I believe. Yep. As the Blastoise clicks Yawn into my Urshifu, which is a little annoying. I don't want to go to sleep. So I go into my... Oh, here I was a little tilted because the overheat, so I clicked Light Screen first by accident instead of Trick Room. That's a little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. It would have been the same scenario anyway, like on this turn, because I would be slower than the Sandy Shocks. I would get the Light Screen up before the Earth Power. So it'd be the same thing, really. As I'm able to get up my Trick Room now, I go for the Psychic on the Blastoise just to try and get Chip on it. And Sacred Fire on the Sandy Shock. Oh, I'm pretty sure this turn I try to click Snarl to weaken the Blastoise, like Muddy Water and like weaken the Sandy Shocks. But he gets a crit through the screen and takes out our Entei, so that's a little unfortunate. Not the end of the world though, unfortunately. Like, we still have a shot because we have Trick Room up and Guard is pretty broken. So this turn I go for the Psychic plus Wicked Blow. And luckily, we get another crit on the Blastoise. So that was huge. Obviously, 2 crits on the Blastoise. And that means he's not able to get Muddy Water and fish for like accuracy drops, as well as get chip damage. So that's huge. We definitely get a little lucky there. As he sends out the Chi-Yu plus Enam, and I was like, okay, I can just Dazzle plus Poison Jab because Poison Jab was a roll, which means the Enam's dead. The crit did not matter one bit. He gets a Heat Wave, gets the burn on the guard, but that's not going to be enough as Psychic plus Wicked Blow is just going to take out the Chi-Yu. And yeah, we win the series 2-1. Little haxy, but maybe if none of the crits happen, like if the Entei doesn't get crit, I think maybe we still had it. I would have to definitely set Trick Room up once again, so there'd be a tricky turn. Where is he gonna target my guard or not? Basically, but obviously Entei was like super good into the Chi-Yu plus Enam, right? So, but I might have needed to get a hit off with guard at one point on them. So not super sure, but yeah, guard pulls it out because guard is the goat. Unfortunately, though, we did end up losing the week, and the other team lost the week, so which meant we still ended first seed, but had an immediate rematch. And, that's a little unfortunate. Nobody likes rematches. They're so annoying to prep for. But, yeah, we still made playoffs, which is pretty good. And our end of season record was like 5-1, which I think is pretty good for... it's good in any tour, like a singles tour. So 5-1 is definitely good in a tour with playing a format I'm not familiar with. So super stoked about my performance, and yeah, I'll be back with our semifinal game in a bit. All right, we're back with our semifinal game, and as I said, I hate rematches, and we got paired up into Log Ice once again. So definitely unfortunate, but luckily for us, he's using a different team, so at least it's not a draft rematch. And our opponent's using a team of Ogerpon Wellspring, Gouging Fire, Enam, Dundee, Hisuian, Sneasel, Dugong. I think there's a couple of other better I don't remember, but this is again the 2-2 like combination. Like the genies, obviously super broken. Then the Ogerpon Gouging Fire are broken as well. That's pretty similar to like our week 1 matchup. So like Enam is definitely super scary, right? Especially if it gets like the Eerie Impulse boost or the Scary Face boost. Definitely super scary, and have to be careful here. But I think we have a pretty fun team for this one. Starting up, we have Torn with Mental Herb, Terror Dark just so that no prankster shenanigans. And with Tailwind, Taunt, Bleak Wind, and Protect. So basically, this will always guarantee we get a Tailwind up, which is epic. Protect was just for like stalling, just in case, because if we can survive and live, and the Tailwind up again as we die, it'd be pretty good. Bleak Wind's just general damage is pretty nice. And Taunt is to like stop Thunder from doing stuff, also to stop like gouging fire from like Morning Sun. And it can stop like protects and stuff, so it's pretty standard. Then we have Clear Amulet, Ursaluna. Clear Amulet because Eerie Impulse or Dundee is pretty obvious here. And with Hyper Voice, Earth Power, Blood Moon, and Protect. There's no normal resist, so Hyper Voice, Blood Moon goes in again. That's why you turn normal as well. Earth Power was there was a Bisharp on this team, I think, and I was super scared of like not being able to hit it. So I decided to just go with Earth Power to hit it harder. We were debating like Vacuum Wave because Vacuum Wave allows me to do like the. Oh wait, there's no Encore on this, but like Vacuum Wave allows me to pick up any Sash Mons if needed. But we debated a lot, and it just said Earth Power was just better. And even if like something was Tear Steel or something, it could help. And then Protect just like scouting and like whatever. Urshifu, we had Choice Curve. This is because we're gonna lead this with Gotita. Forms a pretty solid core. With Terra Dark, just to get the damage boost on Wicked Blow because he doesn't have a resist. His only resist is the Enam, which we have ways around. Like we hit it pretty hard, so we definitely have ways around the Enam, even though it's kind of scary. CC because again, like stab, and then Poison Jab is for the Enam plus the Urshifu Terra Fairy, Gouging Fire, as well as like Ogre Pawn before Terra. Then U-turn just for like bring it out to scare something, get U-turn momentum if needed. Draft list, click U-turn. We're super bulky though, so hopefully we can just live hits too and max attack Adamant. Next up we have Terra normal, but we're most likely not going to Terra it, but it was just to get more damage on the E-speed. Sacred Fire, Stone Edge, Stumping Tantrum is pretty strong here. The Stone Edge and Tantrum seems a little redundant, right? But it's in case we miss the edge on Stone Edge on the Gouging Fire, our Stumping Tantrum will become base 150, so we get a stronger hit into the Gouging Fire next turn, which is pretty cool. And it's pretty good into everything except the Gouging Fire, and nothing really wants the Sacred Fire burn, so that's pretty nice. Also really good check into Enam, so that's why we're pretty bulky. Passion Berry was just to live an Ivy Cudgel if needed and try to get the Sacred Fire burn on the Ogre Pawn. Next up we have a Sash Guard with Dazzle, Psyshock, Trick Room, and Wisp. This is just to get like Trick Room again if needed, right? Because we need speed control. Dazzle, Psyshock is pretty decent into Steam, Trick Room, and then Wisp was just for the Ogre Pawn because we don't hit it hard. Terra Dragon was just because it's nice into like the Ogre Pawn. It can live the hit. Next up we have got with Violite, pretty physically defensive, and with Fake Out Helping Hand, Trick Room, and Foul Play. This is going to be a lead game 1 because Goth plus Urshifu is super strong as a lead. We can basically trap anything and Fake Out whatever threatens Urshifu and just hit the other spot. This is a really broken lead, and it's too bad we realized this too late into the season. But there's not really much you can do to defend against Goth plus Urshifu because Shadow Tag prevents you from switching, and then Unseen Fist prevents you from protecting. So there's not much you can do to scout, and Urshifu can just pick the thing it wants to hit. So that's pretty good. So yeah, let's jump into the game. I decided to lead with the Urshifu plus Goth as he leads with the Ogre Pawn and Gouging Fire. I believe it just clicked Fake Out into the Gouging Fire and go for the Wicked Blow into the Ogre Pawn. I believe this was a roll with like Terra Dark. Unfortunately, we don't get it, so he had enough bulk to live this, which is a little unfortunate, but he does click Woodhammer into the Goth and dies. So I was like, okay, it's not bad. We got the results we wanted. We took a little bit of chip on the Goth, didn't want that, but not the end of the world. In comes the Enam, and I was like, okay, this is fine. I can swap into Entei, which is decent into both these mods now, and go for Trick Room, right? So either he has to double into my Goth, which again seems a little weird to do when there's an Urshifu on the screen that can do a lot of damage, and because he doesn't know it was Scarf. Oh no, he does know it was Scarf because I went before the Ogre Pawn, but like he can. I don't feel like you cannot ignore the the Urshifu, especially because like Wicked Blow is still going to do a lot of damage to the Enam, right? So, but I guess he can always Dazzle, but I didn't have Dazzle with kill. But I was like, okay, I can Trick Room, go Entei here, which is pretty fine turn. He clicks Flare Blitz into the Entei, but he clicks Dazzle and gets the KO on, gets the crit on the God, so I'm not able to get Trick Room up, which is really, really annoying, right? I lost my speed control again, and this sucks. And obviously, crit, without the crit, I always lived, and I get a Trick Room up, then he's in trouble. But now he's not, so I was like, okay, this is super annoying. But I go into Urshifu now, and I believe I clicked Jab plus E-Speed into the Enam, because I was scared of the Enam and I wanted to take it out, but he goes into Thundi, and it seems to be super, super bulky because the E-Speed only did 25. Clicks Flare Blitz, and yeah, and the Jab only does 25% too, so it's like, dang, this is insane. But he clicks the Breaking Swipe. I was initially Covert Cloak Black Entei. Sorry, the nickname is the Black Dog. That's the Taylor Swift song, but that's what I was saying. But I changed to Passion Bay because of the Ogre Pawn, and now it comes to bite me because he's able to drop our attack with Breaking Swipe. But I click Jab, it does 29%. Dodge it on the Urshifu, but not on the Entei. Sacred Fire, don't get the burn. So nothing really going our way. I was hoping for a miss here. I believe that's why I didn't E-Speed. But also E-Speed didn't really kill either of them at -1. So maybe I should have clicked it though. Could have been nice. Going to Ursaluna. He goes for the Eerie Impulse, which kind of helps because I'm able to click Hyper Voice and take out both these mons. In comes the Enam. I just thought I would die, so I just clicked Blood Moon. But all our Spidef that we put, right, pays off as we were able to live the Moonblast on 1 and click Blood Moon. But I thought I won when I lived. I was like, oh dang. But unfortunately, he had the Focus Sash, and I was not carrying Vacuum Wave. So that decision also came to bite me. Nothing going our way. And this means he's able to click Moonblast and take us out and take game 1. I was really annoyed because without the Dazzling Gleam crit, I think we had this because we get Trick Room. And so also I was more annoyed because there's a lot of scheduling issues, and this guy was kind of a jerk while scheduling. Like, he didn't want to play weekdays at all. Only had like weekend availability, and I was trying to play early in the week because my singles tours were starting. And in my opinion, if like you can't play you don't have even one sliver of slot in like a weekday, it's like pretty bad. And like I think he had exams, so I was like, if you have exams, why are you playing Pokemon? Exams are more important, right? But whatever, he's a bit of a jerk, so it was definitely the getting johned into hacks combo was like, you know, the classic, and it was super annoying. But I was like, okay, whatever. We lost game 1. We can bounce back game 2 and 3 like we've done before. So, game 2, I decided to lead with the same lead as he leads the Double Genius this time. I was like, okay, this is fine. We know the Thundi is super bulky, so it's not going to do anything to me. So I can go for the Fake Out plus Jab, and this should always kill the Enam. So I go for the Fake Out, and I go for the Jab, and it lives on 1%. And I'm pretty sure this was a roll in my favor, like the combination of both. So nothing goes our way. We don't even get the poison. Like, this is just absolutely insane. It clicks the Wild Bolt, hits both, and hits the para on the Urshifu, which also sucks. Because now what he can do is he can click Eerie Impulse here, gets the Nasty Plot boost, and just Dazzle, and it kills both my mons, and I can't do anything about it. I remember what my Terra was. Yeah, and my Terra's Water. It doesn't resist Dazzle. So there's no play I can make here to stop this Eerie Impulse plus Dazzle, right? And he gets to make that just because he got the para. Like, he hits that and gets the para. I don't get the roll on the Jab, don't get the poison. Like, insane. This luck was just absolutely insane. So yeah, he's able to do this. I can't stop this. He gets the double KO, and this game is basically over because he got super lucky. Anyways, I go into Ante. I was like, okay, I can E-speed. I turned normal. I don't think I should have, but I thought he might save the Enam. So I was like, in case he swaps, I can get a big damage off of the Hyper Voice. He clicks Wild Bolt, misses on the Ursaluna, but I don't think it matters at this point. We click Hyper Voice, it does 75. So I was like, okay, maybe we have a shot. If I like E-speed, take out the Thundi, and I Blood Moon the Ogre Pawn, then E-speed next turn might have a shot because of the Pasha Berry. So I click E-speed and I don't get the roll this time, so it lives on 1%. We know it does 25 from last game, so this was again a roll, and he got it again just because Johnner's luck, right? You can't fight against it. And this is really bad because he gets the Cudgel and he gets the Wild Bolt hit. And it is really, really bad. Click the Blood Moon. It does a lot of damage, but again, not enough to get the roll. I do call the Spiky Shield and get the call correct, and I'm able to E-speed take out the Thundi. But I don't think it matters unless he somehow misplays. Yeah, we get the E-speed kill there, but he's able to Breaking Swipe, pick up the KO, and our Ante cannot 1v1 this Scorching Fire. So this is unfortunately GG, unless maybe I crit Stone Edge into crit E-speed, I think would have done it. Yeah, because Stone Edge would have done 56, 1.5, 84, and then E-speed. But obviously that's not going to happen, right? He's going to get all the crits and all the status effects, and yeah. So we get a hack startup for a semis game, and then we ended up losing the week like 5-3, I think. So this game definitely mattered. We could have taken it to tie breaks. Just overall, I think this team like hacked us 5 or 6 game in the week, like the regular season game. Like they definitely got super lucky in at least 5 games there. And then they definitely got lucky in like 2 or 3 games in semis as well. So like, it's like insane luck. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, that's the end of our run. Unfortunate to end it on a loss, but you know, it's Pokemon, it happens. Not a bad run for our first VGC team tour. I don't think I'm going to do one again because my price would probably go up, and then at that point, I don't think I'd be worth it. But yeah, we ended up 5-1. It's not updated, 5-2, which I think is still pretty good. And we played like Death Smash and Cookie, who were like some of the top players. And then I think some from the bottom as well. But like, I think we played some pretty good players, had some pretty good games, had a decent showing. It was decently fun. I still think singles is more fun than VGC. So I'm not becoming a VGC main anytime soon, but I thought it'd be funny for people to see a singles main playing VGC like on the channel. So I thought it'd be cool. But yeah, that's it for my run. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.